Shabbat Shalom. We have a parsha today concerning Balak. If you read that parsha Torah portion, Balak, who is a king of Moab, who hired Balaam to curse Israel. So this is a very important topic na we could share, and we can share one another and to lift up one another's imuna, because with this topic in the Torah portion, we can only scratch on the outer part, but it's a powerful to feed our soul. So it's always be that the Torah is a shadow of good things to come. So now the question is, if this Balak Torah portion apply to us today. My answer is yes. Mo apply ni sa atuang situation now, because the Torah is for individual of us, will help us to develop or to renew our mind, as Shaul said, to renew our mind from the Torah. What we had from our past, who we were not, we don't have the Torah in our life. The Torah, this is the seed of Elohim, of Yeshua, what he has we receive from Mashiach. So if you really grasping this seed in your heart, first of all, the heart is the ground to put the seed. Is a ground. So it depends on your heart. We parallel ito the ground, ang atong heart, our hearts, okay, individual of us. So ang ground is to put the seed, okay. So first thing we to do is to prepare the ground. We have to clean, to make it soften, para we are prepared for the seed to plant. Diba? When we make a seedling, it must be a fertilized, a good ground, good na soil, so that ang seed can really kanang grow smoothly. So unlike for the ground nga gahi, walay prepare, imura siyang wala nimo gitarong siya og kuan, kanang cultivate, to make it soften. You have a ground, ditso lang kag tanom, and wala nimo siya giatiman ang imuhang soil before. So the result sa what you have planted in your, if you plant the seed without preparing the soil or the ground, then your seed cannot grow in the smooth way, in the right way, because sa Bisaya pa ma-south siya. So I don't know in English unsay ma-south, but ang imuhang soil dili na siya maka roots is not good. As na maot na imuhang maot bad fruit ang imuhang ma-harvest ana if you are not preparing your soil properly. So the same po na sa atong heart. If our heart we don't have this heart, kung atong heart is not prepared or sa pag-receive sa seed ni Mashiach o ni Yeshua, which is the Torah. So he has given this parable where the first seed so those who receive the seed, diba? It was his parable, concerning the parable. First, paminaw, but after that, the nakalimot, they forget, and then the second seed was in the thorns, and then the third seed is in the kanang kuan, stony, gahi nga kabatuhan nga ground, ganang na nahulog ang seed, and Yeshua has given a example ana. So this is why if we think that we are in the good ground, we should receive in a ground which is our hearts, which is not nga rebellious heart, because when we understand that, if we are in the rebellious heart, what happened to the seed of Mashiach, the Torah? The Torah will bring us into Ihad and to Elohim, into the divineness, the oneness of Elohim through Messiah Yeshua. So if we have a heart of the division, a heart of stubbornness, and ang result, what is the result? Is you are not in the light of Elohim. You're not in the light of Elohim, you're outside of the light of Elohim. So the same po na nato, the same with us, that we try to reach this light of Elohim through Mashiach. This is why in this level of the earth, the Jerusalem, what is called Jerusalem of Shaul in Galatian, because is kanang bondage. Why is it bondage? Because everyone is still in the doctrine, whereas the temple of Elohim, which is a perfect temple, which is in the heavenly temple, which is the Jerusalem above, is perfect. Why is it perfect? Because it is ihad through Mashiach. So now, if we have with this, why we need the cleansing. Our picture is the tabernacle in the wilderness, because the Torah is a shadow of good things to come. We have to remember that the Torah is a shadow of good things into the image of Mashiach. We have a perfect image in Mashiach that we will be soon to be complete when He return. So not yet in the lower world, but in the spiritual world, in the real spiritual world, which is in the heaven, nga it is complete, it is perfect. So soon to become down. This is why while we are on earth, we need this elevating ourselves. This is why I call the Jacob's ladder, because we have to, okay, go back again. We try to this is what the Jacob's ladder, we try to elevate ourselves spiritually, so that what is the purpose of to elevating spiritually? Is to bring our imuna more and more unto Elohim, because if we let our spirit person to elevate, to climb, our fleshy person cannot overrule in us, because the fleshy person, that is the most enemy, which is entwine nakatwin na nato, nakakaluhan na nato, twin ato ana siyang twin. This is why we have the Jacob and Esau in the womb of Miriam, because the same in us, inside us, in our entity, we are two, the good and the evil, which is this good is what is from the source, which is from Elohim, the light of Elohim, which is in us, and the other one is from this nefesh, which is the work of animal soul, the animal soul and the divine soul, which is the one who fight one another. This is what Shaul said. They are contrary to another. They are contrary. The flesh and the spirit is contrary to another. What is our battle is in us, the individuality. So mo na siya ang atong battle. Our battle is in us. It's not outside, not with the other people who are still in Christianity, because for them, Elohim knows nga why they are still outside. They are still with the heart, with the very kanang hard ground they have. They cannot receive the Torah. Why? Because they are not prepared. They are blinded by the doctrine of man. This is the same what Yeshua was rebuked from the Pharisee, from the leaven of the Pharisee, because it's a doctrine of man. The same today. Don't think that only from the time of Yeshua in the community, but at the same time also na nato. If you are really seeking, as Yeshua said, seek and you shall find, and knock and it shall be open unto you. So if you are really seeking the kingdom of Elohim, there's nothing to worry wherever you go. Why? If you try, where is it now? So if you are really seeking in the kingdom of Elohim, you have nothing to worry wherever you go. Do not put yourself in bondage with the doctrine of man. Search if you want really the truth of Elohim, because when we are in Mashiach, the body of Messiah is perfect. The body of Messiah is perfect. This is what is in the temple. This is what Yeshua has already completed in the heavenly places. So this is why when he was resurrected, he bring all what was in the Sheol. He bring them up back to the altar of Elohim in the heavenly places. This perfect day, he's our high priest. So, and now we are still alive from this world. We need to climb that spiritually. This is what Shaul said. He's teaching that we have to walk in the ruah, not only in the spirit, not in the flesh, because if it is in the flesh, we cannot please Elohim. We become enemy unto Elohim. This is why the struggle is in us. So now it's very long topic with this Balak, because it's a lot to discuss You know, we just had to be practical in our walk, di ba? We do not to make we are being critic, critic na sa mga about the doctrine. The important here is the imuna unto Elohim, that He is able, can work in us. When we are in Mashiach, we cannot do it anymore in our own. We always have to depend on Elohim. Why? We have to depend on Him either because sometimes ang atong mga decision we always want to control. We have so much worry instead to let go our worries, because especially now at the time the enemy is seeking for to stumble. If we stumble, then we have to get up. So this is what Moab did, to look in every angle of the children of Israel. Even they are not, he didn't stop Balak to curse Israel. If we think in ourselves we are blessed by Elohim, we have to be more careful with our work, because the enemy is trying. This is what Shaul said, is the roaring lion. The enemy is searching. It's like a roaming lion. He's roaming everywhere to see the angle of where we can befall. So the same pud na, this is if you look Moab, the king of Moab, Balak, he wants to fall Israel, the curse. Balaam always, Elohim said to him, they are blessed. They are blessed. It doesn't stop there. But Balaam continued to be dragged by Balak just to find a way to curse Israel. So the same, if we are in Israel, Israel is ihad, is a one soul in Mashiach. One soul. If we are in one soul in the body of Bisaya, then we ourselves must go to be part of that. There is no assembly, assembly is one body. That is not the one body of Mashiach. The one body of Mashiach is spiritual, is not in the earthly, because the earthly is in bondage. This is the temple below, which is in bondage, the doctrine of man. And you cannot put the only fence we can have is the Torah. This is the Torah. So very complex na ang way sa Elohim. So if we only humble ourselves before Elohim to all our journey, and we are be submissive to the ways of Elohim, because if you are in the hands of Elohim, who can be against you? If you are in the hands of Elohim, who can be against you? Walay maka-against nimo ana. Kay you are in the light. This is why bisag unsaon ni Balaam og Balak to find a way to curse using Balaam, who is an Edomite. Balaam is an Edomite, nga to stumbling block the children of Israel. It's not the same today. All these pretender Jews today who wants to stumble the people, and it is for us. It is for the children of Israel, because the coming out of Egypt was for the Israel and those nations who joined to them. So it is for us today also. We are close to the final end of the redemption, the physical redemption, because the spiritual is redeemed, our soul is redeemed unto Mashiach. It's perfect, but it is soon to be. This is soon to be, in the marriage, soon to be in the oneness of Elohim. And then today, those Edomites today who want to stumbling block in our mga needs na to, he is trying there to block us, so that we ma-fall ta sa atong faith. So this many are falling from that, and this is the danger if we have not to go through from this, because what does Elohim said? I will never leave you nor forsake you. Why? Never a righteous as begging for bread. So what is the problem there? The problem is not with Elohim. The problem is that we cannot blame Elohim kung every one of us is struggling from this kining mga atong mga needs jud. Our needs, I cannot imagine that nga unsa kalisod jud. You cannot, because only by the strength of Elohim through Mashiach nga ikaw maka-overcome ka anang tuhab imuna. Elohim will not let you alone. He will not abandon you. He promised with that. If we believe, the problem with us, this is our problem. We want to control everything. That is the problem, and that is our ego, to control everything. And that is the problem in us. We have to let go with that, because it's not in our control. When you are in the light of Elohim through Mashiach, you have nothing to worry. We have nothing to worry, because Elohim is able to provide us. If we don't stand and we let this our evil inclination, our fleshy person to rule in us, that you can do you can control everything, then what happened, Elohim and our divine soul, which is attached in Mashiach? If it is not you, if it is not the one who decide, especially now sa atong last na tuon nga mga journey karon, we're about to enter to the promised land, if we will not use this divine soul and we let this animal soul to decide sa atong ways, then we will fall back. We will fall back. What happened if fall back and then it is enemy? The enemy will encounter in us. So the enemy is to pull us down and to to unsa ra usa ka butang is to kill you. Especially in our time now is to kill us. This is what he is dreaming, to kill us, the enemy, if we are not strong in the faith. This way is a really a battle in us. The battle is not from outside. The battle is in us because we need to rid off this Esau in us, which is our carnal, our fleshy person who try to control everything in our own hands. And it's not so. It is the Torah will let, through Mashiach, if we nourish ourselves with that, that is the food of our soul, the Torah. That is the food of our soul. So, if it is not, if we don't nourish our soul with that, what happened? So, the danger is there. The enemy is there. It's like a shark turning around you. So, this Moab, what he's doing is looking the angle to curse Israel. He's looking the angle of the children of Israel to curse. So, to stumble. So, and it was so, the children of Israel stumbled through the woman. They fornicate with the woman. So, this is why the plague came to the children of Israel. So, this is why it's to be kadosh with Elohim is very critical because we need to be careful who is around us. Who is the number one enemy we have is in our thoughts. If our thoughts is not feed in the word of Elohim, lost track ka sa iyahang ways, which is from the Torah, the word of Elohim. Lost track ta ana, then the enemy can snatch us. That is the danger. So that is the danger. So the enemy is there, lurking everywhere, roaming around, as Shaul said, to look to devour. So this, you see, you can compare that. So this is why we have to be attentive, to be sensitive with our enemy, because our enemy is not this. That is not is in the our enemy is the world today. When we live our life worldly, we are not set apart, where our thoughts is full of worldly things, all these fleshy things. This is our enemy, because Elohim cannot please with us. So how can Elohim please us? How can our prayer be a sweet-smelling aroma unto Elohim if we are still, living a life of uncleanness and holiness? So it's not acceptable before Elohim. This why we need a humble heart to reach Elohim, because as many think that Elohim can be reached out anytime. And then if we cannot receive the answer of Elohim, is easily we divert, we try to we are impatient, and we try to do in our own ways. And that is the danger, that is in danger why we do our own ways. We can make us fall. So we need that. This why the imuna must be more and more elevated, more to grow, because if it is our heart is, because if as atong hearts dili na siya cultivated from the Torah. This is why it is written in Psalm 1:2 that we have to meditate the Torah day and night. So the reason is to convert our soul, to convert also into the image of Mashiach. And we know that is not, we cannot really go over that, because our flesh is very strong, especially in our times. The flesh is very, very strong. So I will use this one if I can have. So we're gonna move. So this is why with Balak, go back to the topic of Balak and Balaam. Balaam is really I don't know, naiganyo ba si, he's really a wicked prophet, because he come to really ni against siya sa Elohim. Dito siya hingdong sa iyang murag nagsorcery si Balaam to seed where can the children of Israel will fall. And then they find out then that was the fornication of the children of the men of the children of Israel into the children of Moab. That was make them stumble. So this is why you see the enemy is everywhere around us. This is why it's not easy. We have to, individually we have to strive for us to be part or to be joined in the temple of Elohim, which is in the heavenly places, where Mashiach is ministering this temple, who is the high priest. And we need to be part of it as a living stone. We cannot be part as a living stone if we are living not in the kadosh life, not in the life of impurity, in the life of earthly life. Elohim cannot please us. Elohim cannot please us. This is why we need a humble heart to be accepted by Elohim. So not a heart which is envious heart, yeah, I know better than you, I know better, to know better the word of Elohim is not so, is not the level of basihan, the base na to say nga kita better ta, no, because we are equal in the body of Messiah. We are equal. We are one soul in Mashiach, in the body of Yeshua. We are one soul. This is why it doesn't matter kung unsay level nato, but the level of that imuna, who is kanang heart nato nga kanang kuan bitaw, kanang envious. If you remember the envious from Cain, we start from Cain, is dangerous yun na siya. Kaya nga, if we don't repent from, if you have this envious heart, if we are not don't have a repentant heart, it is a danger for us to fall, that Elohim will not please us. Because if you see Cain, how he was kill his brother, we can kill our brother in the spiritual way, or even we condemn ourselves before Elohim, and we are not in the presence of Elohim because of the problem of our heart. Our hearts is really in views. We have nothing. There is no better in us in the body of Messiah. If this, I said, if there is something you can get, the light that feed your soul, because every one of us is unique. You can makakuha ta og pagtulunan sa tagsa nato kay Elohim heal us individually. It depends on our level of how we walk in this journey, because ang study is, we don't have the same study nag-study ta nga. We study in different way, by mood usahay ni ato ang pag-study, may mood ni usahay. So ang atong study is different ko, depende sa atong walk. Matter na siya nato og unsa how we submit this atong pagka-fleshy, ang atong egos mga bad character nato, character traits nato, is how imo depend na siya ana. If we are not ready for the spirituality, then we are, because the flesh cannot really kanang please Elohim. So if we are fleshy person, we cannot see the revelation of Elohim through Mashiach, because we need a heart of humility, kanang mapaibsanon nga kasing-kasing, you humble heart, so that we can see the revelation of Elohim through Messiah sa iyahang Torah, the Torah of Elohim. As we study the Torah, if we meditate the Torah in our life, outside, not to boast outside. You see, if you can see me, I don't preach others. I don't preach all this Christianity, my friends, old friends. No, I'm not trying to drag them in the covenant, because Elohim knows his people. He knows his people to whom he will have to draw. Because if Elohim uses you to draw the people, then it's a time for you to cross the people in your life. Then you can feed them with the truth. Because if you just forcing your truth there, you will just be exhausted. Makapuyon ka na lang og sige kanang bira ana yo dili gid sila. Kapuyon ka lang. So if it is in our own strength to draw them, then it will be exhaustion. Ma-exhaust lang ka. Makapuyon ka lang. So it's better if it is Elohim, because it's smooth raman na siya. So yes, myself, I'm not preaching with many, because I am more working of myself, because yun is not easy. I tell you, this is not really easy, because we have a battle in us. This our evil inclination, and it is always here. The fight is here. So many things, the worries, this is what we have to let go. Learn to let go, because if we don't let go that, then the enemy is there. We can be in our own decision in life that will really fall into the trap into this world. It's not easy, but we have to trust Elohim to find a way. I know the way is not easy. Sometimes it's not in our comfort when we choose the decision, but if it is for own good, sometimes. So, because why the journey is, if it is not journey, if it's not you call journey, dili na matawag og journey. If you cannot be called journey kung you are in the same place. The children of Israel is in the station in the wilderness, but they are turning. Why? Because they were not able to put their last lasting going back to Egypt. At the same now, we want to go back to the normal. There's no normal now. There's no normal because the danger, there is a danger really. So we just wait for the time of the hand of Elohim to really hold us, to keep us in His way, because there's no normal now. The children of Israel in the wilderness is dreaming to return in Egypt because there are many good food, the high life in in Egypt. So the same as for us today. There is no time now. And sometimes this is why we feel nga, especially nga ikaw dili ka vaccinated, ang mahitabo nimo is ma-feel jud kag boring kay wa na kay trabaho, worrying what you will eat, what you will spend your to pay your bills, problema na siya. So you is a courage or a humble heart before Elohim nga tabangan kaniya ana. He will always find a way how to solve your problem, our problem, because we have a different circumstances nga atong gikatagbo sa ato ang kinabuhi, dalain tags kuan sa atong kinabuhi. So this is why in order that the blessing of Elohim is in the children of Israel, we have to keep the way so that the enemy cannot find any butas, in a hole to kanang kuan, to stumble us, find a way to devour us. This is, you see, the parallel in Shaul's teaching and Balak to find a hole to stumble the children of Israel. The blessing is not about money. This is a wrong prosperity gospel is not so in the Torah. The gospel, which is a blessing, is protection, good health, life in Elohim, life, protection, security in His presence, not in the presence of this dark world. Because if you are in the presence of this dark world, and the danger of the enemy is really will snatch us into death. So the same na siya. So we will have to ride on the boat, the ark of Elohim, which is the body save Noah, receive Noah favor. Noah, if you turn the name of Noah in Hebrew, is hen, and it is a grace in English, but it's a favor, in the favor of Elohim na dili ta matron out sa the ark of Elohim. So because the ark of Elohim is which is a pitch atoned by in the blood of Yahushua Mashiach. So is a lot of work, brethren, to keep us this way as blessed by Elohim. And our imuna must grow day by day, because the enemy is there. The doubt, Amalek is correspond to doubt. It is written, you cannot doubt. Doubt is an enemy unto Elohim. We have not to doubt Elohim. Like the children of Israel said, oh, does Elohim bring us here to kill us? Huh? You see how very maka-insulto na sa tubangan sa Elohim. What do you think? You look at Elohim. Is he Elohim to kill us? No, he's not. Elohim is a living Elohim, will bring us into life. So don't say that Elohim will kill us. Like the children of Israel, who this is why the anger of Elohim was very terrible in the children of Israel in the wilderness, because of the stubbornness, the stiff neck, and there's no trust unto Elohim. So let's not question Elohim's power. He's not able to rescue us. Yes, as he said, as Elohim is complaining, is am I too short to rescue you? Am I too short to rescue you? In 2 times he said that nga dili ba day maka-rescue ang Elohim na to. Yes, he can. He can. The problem is in us. So stop going back to Egypt, where all many you can live a high life there. Is finished. Today is finished. We are on the way to the promised land, and soon Mashiach will return for the redemption of all Israel, the house of Judah, and the house of
ihad unto Mashiach. Hallelujah, hallelujah, shalom, shalom.